All right, peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. I am Richard Taylor, and I'm back with another story that is an example of the crooked nature of some of these law enforcement officers around the country, which oftentimes put black people in a bad situation. Now, I'm going to play this clip real quick so you can get the news story, but I'm going to stop it as well about this New York State trooper who shot himself, fabricated a whole crime scene, and then says a black or a brown man shot. Just watch this video, and I'm going to stop it here and there just to commentate on it.
After he received a hero send-off from the hospital, former New York State Trooper Thomas Messia turned himself into authorities, accused of fabricating the thing that had landed him there.
Shot fired, I'm hit. Westbound, Dakota State, right before exit 17.
Last October, Messia radioing in that he had been approaching a vehicle parked in the median of a Long Island highway. His fellow troopers temporarily shutting down the highway, searching for a suspect Messia described as black or Hispanic, according to police.
Tom's assailant remains at large and is an extremely dangerous person.
But police now say there was no assailant and that Messia staged the scene to gain attention or sympathy for himself, according to charging documents, placing .22 caliber shell casings on the ground hours earlier, then himself at another location, before returning to the highway to call in the fabricated attack.
That we were all looking for only existed in Messiah's head, in his imagination.
Why did you do it?
The 5-year state police veteran resigned on Friday and has been charged with falsely reporting a crime, evidence tampering, and official misconduct.
After combing the scene of the alleged for any shred of physical evidence, those searches all ended the same way. 9 shell casings, but no projectiles found. No tire marks. Not a single video that showed the Dodge Charger Messia claimed belonged to his.
His parents, whose home was searched late last year, were also arrested, charged with criminal possession of a firearm. All of them pleaded not guilty and have been released as they await trial. The Messiah's attorney, Jeffrey Lichtman, telling NBC News, this case is a tragedy that was caused by unseen and untreated mental health issues, and now an entire family is suffering for it, as they usually do in such situations.
Hold on, I gotta stop it right there. Now all of a sudden, this officer has mental health issues. Why is it that when officers or white people do something that is so calculated and premeditated, no, he has mental health issues? He fabricated and staged a whole crime scene, planting bullet shells hours before at the location, going to another location, shooting himself, taking the gun to his mom and dad's house. Now they're involved, and then going back to the scene and staging an entire scenario where he walked up on a car, the guy shot him and then sped off. He even had the license plate down to a T. And of course, the most damaging, disturbing thing, the most dangerous thing is him saying that a black and brown person did this. I don't think this is mental health. This is pure, unadulterated evil. You can see him walking around and people asking him questions. Why'd you do it? Just look at the expression on his face. There is no mental health issue. There's just an evil issue.
His selfish act wasted extraordinary resources across several police departments. He failed his brothers and sisters in law enforcement, and he failed his oath as an officer.
The district attorney says this incident set off a huge response, and even law enforcement from Delaware initially thought they were involved in a real manhunt. The DA emphasizing this pulled away resources from true emergencies and potentially put members of the public in danger. Tom?
And so This guy had the whole New York State Trooper Force out looking for me, somebody who looks like me, possibly putting somebody who drove that kind of car in danger. You know, a APB, all points bulletin, officer down, be on the lookout, BOLO, all of those things for a moment in time. Or maybe he just, wanted to target, someone who looks like me. But stopping and frisking wasn't enough. Let me go ahead and blame a crime on someone. And they found out that, it was staged because of GPS and other technologies. They noticed, okay, there's 9 shell casings, but no projectiles on the scene. There's no tire marks. And so while he thought he was being calculated, he was actually, pulling a Laurel and Hardy stunt, a bungling Car 54 police, where are you stunt. And then he had the nerve to take the gun to his father's house. Now, his father is a convicted felon like myself. So he doesn't supposed to be around guns. And so he got his mother and father in it. And all 3 are pleading not guilty. And I wonder how this is going to play out in court. This incident happened in October of last year. And, they launched the investigation, in which recently has turned out that he was lying. So the 5-year veteran is now facing those charges. But what does this remind you of? What does this remind you of? Let me play you this clip, and let me see if this one jogs your memory.
I know right here what the truth is. I can see from their side why they have to do the things they have to do. But the Lord and myself both know the truth. I did not have anything to do with the abduction of my children.
Does anybody remember who that is? If you are my age or a little younger or older, you may remember that woman right there. That woman is Susan Smith. Susan Smith made up a fabricated story in the 90s saying that a black man abducted her children, ran off with her car while she was at the grocery store or something, and just hopped in, drove off with her children. And her children were later found in her car in a river. It was later found out that this lady, this diabolical scum of a human being, intentionally drowned her own kids. But once again, the most damaging fact is she blamed it on a black man. I mean, even down to the sketch. They had the sketches of this masked, murderous black man on the loose, and everybody was looking for him until some sort of evidence claimed to be or made evidence that this lady was the culprit. Now, she received, I think it was life in prison, and most recently, I think, after 30 years, they denied this woman parole, in which they should have had. Now, you saw a husband in there, the picture. They said that he was not involved. Looking at his face right now today, I find that hard to believe. Maybe he wasn't. However, once again, the most damaging or damning thing about both of these stories is the person who they blame the attack on. Why do they have to pick on us? Why did she have to pick us? Why couldn't it have been a white man who abducted their children? Why couldn't it have been a white man who shot this officer? Why are we always made out to be the picture boy or the picture man for crime? Further criminalizing us, further making us the target of harassment, profiling, over prosecution, harassment, all of those things. Don't we have enough on our plate for you guys to be out fabricating stories like this? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Why is it that we are always the mass culprit, the suspicious suspect in these issues? And now, as the lawyer is contending, oh, well, he didn't do anything wrong. It's just mental health, and he's suffering. His family is suffering, you know, as many families do in this situation. What about that black man who was pulled over, searched, brought in for a lineup for the Southern? Now, they didn't say how long this manhunt lasted. I don't know how long it took for the smart guys up there in New York to figure out this charade. We don't know. We don't know how many lives were possibly put in danger by this guy Mashia's actions. But what we do know that this has been a long standard pattern of blaming black men. And this time it was for assaulting a white man, but the normal times is for assaulting a white woman, i.e. Emmett Till, i.e. What's my man named Willie Merrill in Oxford, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. When will we, black people, stop being the suspect in these crimes, these alleged crimes? Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. 919-587-7782. Peace and blessings.